All right, let's get into it. So, you'll often hear people say things like "you got to lock in," right? That's a pretty common expression. And if you're an artist, if you're someone who is looking to create good habits and be productive, um, you need to lock in. So that's what we're going to talk about. But how do you apply that to your routine, and how do you juggle life and be creative and productive? And what does that look like? So this advice is for not necessarily just people starting out, but people who are looking to kind of create these routines. And if you already have something that works for you, great. But I know for myself, it's something I struggled with. Just staying motivated and being productive, and life starts throwing a lot of things at you, and sometimes you find yourself in this position where you're like, how do I stay creative? How do I keep getting momentum towards where I want to be? And these are just a few things that I've done that work for me, and if you find value in that, great. All right, so first thing, when we talk about locking in, it's got to be more than just words. You can't just say, oh, it's time to lock in, but then when it's time to lock in, you get distracted, you put it off, you work for 30 minutes or whatever, and then you go play video games or you go do something completely different. The first thing I'm going to say is you're going to have to create sort of a routine that's sustainable for yourself. You're going to have to make some sacrifices, meaning you might have to not be going out every night, hanging out with your friends, but there are real world responsibilities, right? So on top of that, on top of maybe having a relationship, on top of working, on top of other responsibilities, you're gonna have to carve out time just for practicing. What does that look like? Maybe if you're a rapper, it means putting on instrumentals and just freestyling, just working your brain, or just writing bars, right? Having a notebook. And there's something to be said about physically writing. I mean, obviously, it's 2025, you're gonna be on your phone, and that's great, and there's a purpose for that. But actually physically writing down your lyrics and thinking does something different for your brain, helps you memorize things faster, and it just works a different aspect of your mind. So there's some value to physically writing. But time management, you're gonna have to force yourself, even if it is 30 minutes or an hour, that's still something. But ideally, your week should not just be an hour a week, because the time it's gonna take to really see the progress, you're gonna be waiting forever, right?